Katie is dreaming. In her dream, she is a little girl, basking in the sun at the beach with her mother. Her mom is playing the guitar, while Katie sits in the cocoon of her warm embrace. It is a perfect day until Katie opens her eyes. The dream vanishes, and she is back to her present self. Disappointed, Katie gets off her bed. It was just a dream, she tells herself. It cannot ever be real because her mother passed away when she was still little. Katie Price is 17 years old. She suffers from a rare genetic condition called xeroderma pigmentosum. It is a severe sensitivity to sunlight. If Katie ever comes into direct contact with sunlight, she could get skin cancer, and her brain might start to malfunction. Ultimately, she could lose her life. That is why she spends all her time inside her house, with special windows preventing her from coming into direct contact with sunlight. She spends time with her dad, whom she loves very much. He is the best dad ever, and Katie adores him with all her heart and soul. The two share a special bond. She reminisces about her difficult childhood. Because of her condition, Katie was forced to live indoors. She never had a normal childhood experience, and that is why all the kids in her neighborhood would tease her. They used to call her a vampire because of the special sunlight-proof windows around her house. They would scare each other by making up rumors to stay away from her, because she could only come out at night. Poor Katie had to endure it all. There was just one girl who wanted to be her friend, Morgan. One day, young Morgan knocked on Katie's door, and her dad opened it. Morgan asked him what was wrong with Katie, and Jack Price told the little girl how his daughter had a rare condition that did not allow her to go out in the sunlight. The sunlight hurt her, he said. Morgan simply shrugged and told him she could not play in the sun either. She asked him if Katie could play with her at night. Jack admired the little girl's bravado and her zeal. She invited herself over to Katie's place, and just like that, Katie had her first friend ever. From that point onwards, Katie was never alone. She had Morgan and her dad to spend her days with, until the day she saw Charlie. Sitting by her bedroom window, Katie noticed a boy of the same age, passing by her street on a skateboard. That was Charlie Reed. As a little girl, Katie was completely allured by him, and from that day onwards, she watched him pass by her window every day, at the same time. Her crush on him kept growing, but Charlie didn't even know that Katie existed. As years passed, watching Charlie go by and her constant doctor appointments became a part of Katie's routine. She would sleep during the day and stay up at night. Katie watched tutorials online and taught herself how to play the guitar. She played music every chance that she got, and that was her life. In the present day, that is still Katie's life, and she does not seem to mind it one bit. She still watches Charlie go by on his skateboard every day at the same time. This day, he is wearing a red cap and gown. It is graduation day for all high school seniors. Despite the challenges life has thrown her way, Katie seems to keep high spirits and lives a happy life. Katie is in her bed, watching the live video of Charlie's graduation ceremony, when her dad walks in. He's wearing a blue cap and gown. Katie laughs at him. Jack hands over a cap to Katie as well. As Katie has been homeschooled her entire life, her father is the sole faculty and the staff responsible for her schooling, and so he is wearing a cap and gown for her graduation day as well. Jack hands Katie a diploma and asks her if she has a speech prepared. Considering that she is the valedictorian and the only student in her class, Katie plays along with her dad. The two joke around as Katie pretends to give a speech, thanking her multiple teachers, all of whom were her father himself. Jack gives Katie a card that they both make fun of because it's so lame. The bond between the father and daughter is precious and warm. Then, it is time for Katie's real present. Jack goes out the door and comes back in with a guitar case. Katie immediately recognizes it. It used to belong to her mother. She is pleasantly stunned. When she opens the case, she finds her mother's guitar inside. Katie is immediately taken back to the day on the beach that she dreamt of. Her mother was playing that same guitar. Katie jumps up from the bed and hugs her dad. She loves her present. Jack admires his daughter as Katie picks up the guitar. She looks just like her mother. Jack kisses her on the forehead and tells her to get some sleep. It is the middle of the day, but it is time for Katie to sleep. When night comes, Katie lays awake in bed, listening to the sounds of the kids her age screaming and having fun outside. Katie peeks out the window and feels disappointed that she does not have a life like a normal teenager. She goes in search of her father and finds him in his studio. Jack loves photography. He is developing new pictures of Katie. Most of the pictures on the walls are of Katie, since Jack loves taking her photos. Katie asks her father if she could go play her new present at the train station, but it is already 10 at night. Jack is worried to let her out this late. Katie convinces him that she will be careful and that Fred, the man who works the ticket counter at the train station, would be there to keep an eye on her. Jack insists that Katie can stay at home and play her guitar for him and Morgan. But Katie wants to go out. She just graduated earlier that day, so shouldn't he extend her curfew just a little bit? Jack cannot deny that request. Katie squeals and hugs him, excited to be playing for an audience. He tells Katie to be back by midnight and to call him as soon as she gets there. The recently graduated high schoolers are having a party at the beach. There is a bonfire and drinks and music. Everyone is having fun but Charlie. He just sits in the corner with a can of beer in hand, sulking. When his friends notice it, they come over to him, asking him to cheer up. Charlie's upset because he missed his chance to get into Berkeley. His friends tell him that Charlie dodged a bullet. If he had gotten that scholarship, he would have had to wake up at the brink of dawn every morning to take tests, and he would miss out on the real fun. Charlie does not think the same. Zoe Carmichael walks up to the boys. She only addresses Charlie of the 3 boys there. Zoe playfully flirts with him, asking him why he did not get her a drink. Charlie did not know she was thirsty. Zoe playfully hits him across the shoulder and Charlie flinches. Zoe apologizes and lifts his sleeve. There is a long scar on his skin. Because of his injury there, Charlie can no longer pursue swimming. Zoe wants Charlie to make time for her since he is not swimming anymore. She asks if he is coming to her graduation party and Charlie says yes, though he doesn't seem too interested. Zoe goes away, smiling flirtatiously. Charlie, on the other hand, does not feel like spending any more time on the beach. He bids his friends goodbye and leaves. Katie reaches the train station. She knocks on the glass of Fred's cabin, and the older man is happy to see her. Fred works the ticket counter at the station. Katie takes a place on the bench and places her song journal beside her. She starts to play the guitar and sing. Charlie is near the train station when he hears Katie's voice. He is drawn towards it. When the train arrives, Katie's melodious voice attracts the travelers. More and more people pass by her, and enchanted by her voice and the tunes, they drop money into her open guitar case. A little boy gives her a pack of candy, and Katie smiles at him. Charlie stops next to where Katie is still playing. When Katie sees him, she stops mid-song. She freezes and is stunned into silence. It is Charlie. Charlie Reed. The boy she has been in love with ever since she was a little girl. And now Katie does not know how to act. Charlie says hey and Katie stutters. She rushes to gather her things, but ends up dropping the candy packet on the ground. Charlie picks it up for her. He did not mean to freak her out, but he has never seen her around town before. Charlie wonders if Katie's new in town. Katie starts to panic. She packs her things and Charlie helps her. Katie tells him she has to go home. Charlie is surprised to know that she lives in the same town. He has never seen her around the school. Katie brushes off his query and tells him that her dad must be worried. She should get home. Katie almost drops her guitar case, but Charlie saves it. She is so nervous, the girl does not know what to do. She turns to leave but Charlie stops her. Why is she in such a rush? He wonders. Katie stutters. She makes up a lame excuse that her cat died and she has to get home. Charlie does not get it. If the cat's dead, why does Katie have to go? Because Katie has to plan the funeral. Katie is thoroughly embarrassed, and having made a fool of herself in front of her crush, she just wants to crawl under a rock and hide. She just turns around and bolts, not listening to Charlie asking her to wait. He did not even get her name. But it is too late. Katie's already gone. Charlie finds her song journal on the bench and keeps it. The next morning, Jack meets with Katie's doctor to bring her up to date on Katie's health condition. He informs the doctor that there is nothing in Katie's condition to suggest any neurodegeneration. The doctor tells him that she will refill Katie's prescription this time, but Katie needs to be coming to the hospital with him. She reminds Jack of how severe Katie's condition is, and now that she has reached that age they talked about, they need to be more careful than ever. Jack wants to know if there is any word on the University of Washington study. The doctor tells him that she has submitted Katie's name for their Phase 2 trials, but Jack should not get his hopes up. When it comes to research funding, it is a slippery slope, especially when it is a disease that affects 1 in a million people. Jack is not worried about that because his Katie is 1 in a million. Katie tells Morgan about her mortifying encounter with Charlie. Morgan teases her for giving an excuse as lame as a dead cat. Katie grunts. She does not know what she should have said instead. Morgan consoles her and tells her that she will just make up for it the next time. Katie swears there will not be a next time. She picks up her guitar and then suddenly remembers her notebook. She searches her room for it but comes up short. With a start, Katie realizes that she left her notebook back at the train station. She asks Morgan if the girl could stop by the station and bring her notebook back. Morgan makes a fake pout and teases Katie by saying she cannot, because she has a few cat funerals to go to that day. Katie laughs and the two best friends pillow fight. Later that evening, Morgan goes to the train station to retrieve Katie's notebook. Charlie is already there, notebook in hand, waiting for Katie. When he sees Morgan, she asks for the notebook back because it belongs to her friend. But Charlie recognizes Morgan from school. He asks how Morgan knows that girl. Did she just move to town? Morgan tells him to give the notebook first. Charlie counters that she can just tell him where the girl lives, and he can give it to her himself. But Morgan has an even better idea. Morgan sends Katie a text informing her that she found her notebook and left it with Fred at the counter. Katie can go pick it up later because Morgan had to report to work. Katie informs her dad that she is going to the train station to get her notebook. Jack asks her to be careful and text him when she gets there. Katie reaches the station. It is mostly vacant. When she walks towards the counter, she spots Charlie waiting there with her notebook in hand. Katie instantly panics and hides behind the ticket booth. She holds her breath and calls Morgan at work. Morgan works at an ice cream parlor. She neglects her duties and takes Katie's call. Katie cannot believe that Morgan did this to her. She tricked her into coming there. Katie is not even dressed appropriately to meet her crush. She is in sweatpants and old clothes, and her hair is a mess. Morgan tells Katie that she is super gorgeous, and she can tell that without even looking at her. She advises Katie to be herself, and not ramble too much as she does. Charlie likes Katie. Morgan could tell that much when she met him earlier. With that, Katie hangs up. Charlie notices her hiding and Katie has no choice but to come out of hiding. The two come face to face and Charlie cannot believe that this girl exists. He thought he was dreaming after the way she vanished the night before. Katie laughs nervously and starts rambling about the REM cycle and dreams. Charlie is amused by that. Katie stops her rambling and thanks him for the notebook. But Charlie stops her before she can take it. He wants to know her name. The two exchange introductions. Katie takes her notebook and turns to leave. She stops and asks if Charlie had read her notebook. Charlie admits that he had to flip through it to know to whom it belonged. Katie is offended and mortified. He had read through her journal. It is kind of like her diary. Charlie apologizes, but he only did it to find out whose notebook it was. He likes that Katie still uses handwritten notes. It is old school. Katie turns to leave again, but Charlie stops her. She tells him she is walking home, and she has to leave. The boy asks her if he can walk with her, and Katie shyly agrees. The two walk down the empty streets talking. Katie tells Charlie that she was homeschooled. Her dad is protective. Charlie jokes if he is watching them right now. Katie laughs. She asks him what he thought about the songs he had read in her notebook. Charlie cannot say. One cannot just read a song. He will just have to hear Katie sing them. They reach her house and Katie stops walking. Charlie is surprised to know that Katie lives so nearby to him. He never even knew. He tells her he must have skateboarded from in front of her house his entire life. Katie purses her lips and laughs nervously. Funny coincidence, maybe. She then thanks him. Charlie asks her if she would want to hang out with him sometime. Katie feels giddy and excited. She wants to, but she cannot during the day. She tells him she is busy in the morning, but she can be free at night. Charlie can be free at night too. Katie flips her notebook open to ask Charlie for his number, but she finds that he has already written it down for her. Katie cannot help but blush. Charlie admits that he is old school like that. Katie awkwardly bids him goodbye. Morgan is lying on Katie's bed the following day. Katie tells her about her conversation with Charlie and Morgan finds it so romantic. She is almost bitter about it. She asks Katie what Charlie said about her xeroderma pigmentosum, but Katie simply shrugs. It never came up, so she did not tell him. She reasons that when one tells someone they are sick, they stop being a person and become more like a disease. But she promises Morgan that she will tell Charlie eventually, but she doesn't even know when she will see him again. Morgan has a solution for that. There's an annoying guy who works with Morgan at the ice cream shop. His name is Garver, and he is the nerdy guy Morgan hates. He is having a party since his parents are out of town, so Morgan asks Katie to invite Charlie to that party. At first, Katie says no. She cannot just text Charlie first. Morgan rolls her eyes and tells Katie that she lives in the 21st century. She can do whatever she wants. Morgan helps Katie as the girl writes a message to Charlie, inviting him to a party. But she tries to play it cool, and tells him in the next message that she does not care if he comes, because she has got other friends as well. Morgan is stunned when she sees the text that Katie sent the boy. It is a disaster. Katie comes off as totally rude and lame. Charlie, on the other hand, is cleaning a boat when he gets Katie's texts. Surprisingly, he finds Katie's mumblings funny. He instantly replies with a yes to her invitation. Morgan and Katie try to convince Katie's dad to let her go to the party. Jack deflects at first and tries to make the girls stay back at home with him. They can have Chinese food and watch Netflix. Katie reasons with her dad. He knows that she is a good girl and that she will not cause trouble, but she cannot spend another night just listening to kids her age have fun while she sits inside. The girls corner Jack, and the man has no option but to yield to his daughter's request. Both the girls squeal and press Jack into a hug from either side. The girls rush to get ready. Morgan chooses a gorgeous yellow dress for Katie. When they are done, Morgan presents Katie to her dad like she is being presented to society at an event. Jack is amazed to see his daughter looking so beautiful. Katie is excited to go to her first party ever. But when he sees her leave, Jack feels a little sad. Morgan and Katie reach Garver's residence. The boy opens the door and is happy to see Morgan. He asks if she knows how to get beer out of a keg. Morgan is instantly annoyed. Garver never thought to ask for a beer tap. As Morgan and Katie make their way through the house, Morgan is utterly shocked. The party is a complete bust. It is a tame, safe parent-friendly party. There is even a Sunday bar. Katie thinks it is very cool, but Morgan tells her no. She has no idea what a real party is supposed to be like. The only other people at the party are Garver's two nerdy friends. Morgan decides that they have to leave. But Garver just made a huge thing of chili. They cannot leave. Morgan groans. Chili is not party food. Just then, a car arrives. It is Charlie. Everyone goes out to the porch. Garver is shocked to see Charlie read at his party. When Charlie's eyes land on Katie, he is completely mesmerized by her. Katie blushes under his gaze. The two sit side by side on the porch. Charlie compliments her, and Katie turns beet red. Garver hands them 2 bowls of beef chili. Charlie takes one bite and compliments Garver's cooking. Once the boy is out of sight, he makes a disgusted face. It is not good at all. Katie laughs. Garver's party is a total bust. No one showed up. They find out it's because of a mean, blonde cheerleader's party. Zoe Carmichael. Charlie asks if they all want to go to Zoe's party, and Katie agrees. Charlie brings the lot to Zoe's graduation party. Zoe is happy to see Charlie there, but when she notices the group of people he brought with him, she is not as thrilled anymore. Katie, who has never been to a party with so many people before, is a little overwhelmed. Morgan leaves Charlie and Katie alone. The two get to talking. When Charlie's friends spot Charlie at the party, they get excited. Charlie introduces them to Katie. Owen and Wes are pleased to meet her, and taken by how beautiful she looks. Owen is grateful to Katie that she got Charlie to come to a party and smile. He has not seen Charlie look so good in a long time. Their conversation is interrupted by Zoe. She makes eyes at Charlie and asks him to grab a drink for her. Charlie politely declines her, saying that he is going to give Katie a tour of the party. He grabs Katie's hand and leads her away. Zoe is not pleased to be rejected like that. The party gets wild. Katie is having fun playing games with Charlie and other people. Garver, the nerdy boy, gets drunk and asks Morgan to dance. Morgan looks at him disgustedly and rejects him. In the end, the two end up necking in the garage. Morgan warns Garver to keep this secret or else she will kill him. Katie is having fun watching what a high school party is like. Charlie takes her to the dance floor and teaches Katie to dance. The two get close enough to kiss, but a commotion breaks, and they are interrupted. Charlie brings Katie to the marina. They walk, hand in hand, talking about their lives. Charlie tells Katie about how his scholarship to Berkeley was taken away. He got hurt and had to have surgery. The authorities did not think Charlie would be able to perform and swim after that, and so they withdrew his scholarship. Katie is sorry to hear that. She asks him how he got hurt, and Charlie begins by saying it was because of a freak accident that happened some time ago, but he stops himself. That is what he used to tell other people. He wants to be honest with Katie, so he tells her how he used to party a lot. It was during one of those parties that he was dared to jump off the roof into the pool. Charlie was really drunk that night, and so he took the dare. But as he jumped, he clipped his shoulder to the edge and got injured very badly. He sighs, disappointed in himself. He tells Katie that he does not want to be that kind of a guy. She smiles and tells them he does not have to be. Katie tells Charlie about her mother, how she used to take her out to the marina and teach her how to play the guitar. Katie reminisces about those times. She shows Charlie the watch on her wrist. It belonged to her mother. She died when Katie was little because of a car accident. Charlie is so sorry to hear that. He is worried about Katie and this place bringing up bad memories for her. He asks if she wants to go someplace else, but Katie assures him that she is fine. Charlie takes Katie to the boat he has been taking care of during the summer. He climbs atop and helps Katie too. One of these days, he would like to take the boat for a spin around the harbor and watch the sunset with Katie. Katie hesitates to answer. She cannot go out in the sun, but she has yet to tell that to Charlie. In a split second, Katie decides to hide her illness from him for a little longer. As Charlie looks down at her expectantly, she smiles and says it sounds perfect. Charlie leans down and the two kiss. Later, he drops her outside her house. Katie asks him what he is going to do now that he is not going to Berkeley. He says he is going to get a new truck and drive across the country. He has been swimming his entire life, and he never got to see much else. That makes Katie a little sad. She has never gotten to see much else either, because her illness forbids her to travel. Charlie asks her what she is going to do, but Katie cuts him off. She responds, sadly, that she will just be taking some online courses at home. Charlie had meant to ask what she was going to be doing tomorrow. He wants to ask her out again. Katie blushes. She hesitates and tells him that she is busy during the day, but she could be free at night. The two plan on meeting the next night. Katie gets out of Charlie's car but turns back around and confesses a truth. She does not have a cat. Charlie laughs at that. Jack watches Katie happily hop towards the house from the window as Charlie pulls out of their driveway. He looks upset and worried. Morgan and Katie are lying in bed together. Morgan is laughing as she texts someone. Katie asks her who she is texting. Morgan puts her phone down and says no one. Katie presses and Morgan confesses that it is Garver, the nerdy guy she used to hate. They made out at the party. Morgan seems mortified by that. Katie coos that Garver is cute, and he seems to like Morgan a lot. She then proceeds to ask if she can tell her dad that she is staying over at Morgan's place that night. She has a date with Charlie, and she doesn't want her dad to find out. Morgan is super proud of Katie. That night Katie is all dressed up, and she asks her dad if she can stay over at Morgan's that night. Jack has no problem with that. Just as she is leaving, he asks her how the party went. Katie tells him it was nice. She rambles a little and then decides to leave, but she can't. She can't lie to her father. She never has. Katie ends up confessing that she is lying, but her dad already figured that out. Katie tells him that she is going to meet a boy, Charlie Reed. He is a nice and sweet boy, and she really likes him a lot. Jack is annoyed, but he saw this coming. He is not happy that Katie tried to lie to him. She apologizes. He asks her a series of questions. Charlie's very sweet. Does he know about Katie's XP? Katie confesses she has not told him yet. Jack is not comfortable with Charlie not knowing. Katie promises she is going to tell him, but she needs a little longer to be someone with more than just a disease. Jack cannot argue with that. He agrees with Katie's choice. That is when Morgan walks into the room and, per their plan, asks Jack if Katie can come over to her place. Katie tells her she already admitted everything. Morgan is disappointed. She could not make it 2 hours before spilling the truth. Katie rushes to Charlie's car when he comes to pick her up. They go to an ice cream parlor. From that day onwards, they spend all their evenings together. Katie spends her days writing a song for Charlie, and her nights hanging out with him. Every night Charlie picks her up outside her house, and the two venture off into the night. They get closer and closer as the days pass by. One night, they are at the beach, stargazing. There is a bonfire lit nearby, and the two cozy up together. Mid-conversation, Charlie suddenly goes quiet. The Berkeley coach called his house last night. One of the scholarship students transferred out, and a spot opened on the list for Charlie. Katie is happy for him. He tells her about a swim meet coming up next month. The Berkeley coach will be there to watch Charlie perform. Charlie doubts he could get in shape by then, but Katie believes in him. Charlie appreciates Katie's support. He tells her he wants to take her out on a real date. Katie says yes, but he needs to meet her dad before that. The next night, Charlie is in Katie's living room. Jack is watching him like a hawk, and Charlie feels nervous under his scrutinizing gaze. Jack asks him to move closer to him but purposely calls him Cody. Charlie politely corrects Jack, and shifts a little close to the man. The two get to talking and Jack tries to fish out anything suspicious about the boy. He peppers him with questions. Once done with his rapid fire, Jack gets real with Charlie. He is about to tell him more about Katie when the girl walks in. Jack stops talking and tells Katie they were just getting to know each other. Seeing how Charlie cares for Katie, Jack decides to capture this moment. He gets out his camera and takes a few pictures of the young couple. Charlie brings Katie to the train station. They are going to be riding the train to somewhere, and it is a surprise. Once on the train, Charlie opens some Chinese takeaway boxes. It is the first time the two of them are traveling by train. The two joke around as they eat their food. Charlie cannot believe he never knew about Katie, and they lived in the same town all this while. He knows exactly why that is. Katie gets nervous when she hears that. She wonders if Charlie knows about her disease. But Charlie jokes that it is because Katie and her dad must be in a witness protection program, and they can only come out at night because of the rules. Katie laughs, a little relieved. She plays along with him. Then, he asks her to close her eyes and put her hand out. Katie complies. Charlie drops some candy in her palm. It is the same candy that dropped out of her guitar case the first night they met. Katie likes this sweet gesture. The train finally arrives in Seattle. Seeing the city glimmering from the train, Katie feels ecstatic. The two go around and about the city, exploring and having fun. Charlie brings Katie to her surprise point, her first ever live concert. Katie loves it. They dance and sing along, having the time of their lives with each other. They leave the club and walk down a crowded street. Katie is pumped up with energy. She is excited and so in love. She tells Charlie that he's the best for doing all this for her. Charlie finally tells her that it is her turn now. Katie can't understand. He opens her guitar case and hands Katie her guitar. It is time for her to sing in front of a live audience. Katie straight out says no. She cannot do something like that in front of so many people. But after a few more rounds of convincing, Katie finally agrees. She takes her guitar and hesitantly starts to sing. Charlie begins recording it. Soon, a bunch of people start to gather around. Katie gains confidence when she sees people enjoying her music. They start clapping along, and when she is done, they cheer loudly. Back to their town, Katie and Charlie walk down the beach, hand in hand. Charlie insists that Katie must do something with her music. She has got great talent. Katie tells him he must get back to swimming. Charlie tells her he does not swim anymore. But Katie is adamant. She has never gone swimming in the lake, and she wants Charlie to take her. She eventually wears him down. When Charlie sees Katie stripping down her clothes, he doesn't need any more convincing. He follows her into the cold water and the two spend a romantic night together. Time slips away from them. Charlie and Katie end up on the beach, cuddled up in a blanket together. Charlie talks about his experience in high school, and how no one ever knew who he was. They only knew him as the guy who swam. Katie offers him comfort, and tells him that he should do whatever he wants. Right now is all that matters. And then, it is almost time for sunrise. When Charlie asks if she is ready to see the greatest sunrise on the planet, it hits Katie just how late it is. She looks at the time on her mother's watch, but it stopped working. It is almost 5 a.m. Katie reached for her phone. She has so many missed calls from her father, messages asking her to return home. Katie realizes just how much she has messed up. She hurries to get dressed, panicking all the while. Charlie cannot tell what is wrong with her. Katie pulls up her jeans and runs as the sun starts to rise behind her. Charlie catches up to her in his truck and Katie gets inside. It is a race against time. Katie urges Charlie to go faster. Charlie is scared. He doesn't get it. What is happening to her? Katie tells him to keep going. He speeds up his truck and soon stops outside her house. Katie runs to make it inside, but the sun is already out. Katie slams the door shut and drops to the ground, barely having made it inside the house. She is hyperventilating by this point. Charlie bangs on her front door, asking Katie to open up. He cannot understand what is happening. Just then, Katie's father arrives in his car. He rushes inside to Katie. Behind him, Morgan cries to Charlie. How could he let this happen to Katie? But Charlie still doesn't know what is wrong. Morgan finds out that Katie never told Charlie the truth. Charlie yells. He has no idea what happened to Katie. Morgan tells him the truth about Katie's illness. She has got XP and she cannot go in the sun. It might put her to eternal sleep. Morgan rushes inside Katie's house, leaving an utterly dumbfounded Charlie outside. Katie's dad and Morgan bring Katie to the hospital for her checkup. Katie gets called in for some tests. Morgan tries to comfort a very worried Jack. Garver shows up to be there for Morgan, and she is touched. She just hugs him. Charlie begins researching online about Katie's disease. After Katie's tests are over, the doctor informs her and her dad about Katie's condition. The sunlight exposure was minimal, and the physical effects will heal, but XP lies dormant until triggered. The doctor tells her that they have to wait for the result of Katie's tests to find out if this was a triggering event. Jack asks the doctor what would happen if it was. The doctor tells him that they will cross that bridge if they get to it, but she wants Katie to let them know if she experiences any symptoms, like unexpected shaking, muscular pain, or loss of motor function. While researching, Charlie thinks back to all the times that Katie made plans during the night and avoided meeting him during the day. Jack asks the doctor about the study. She tells him that there has been no response from their side. Once back home, Katie stops responding to Charlie's texts and calls. Charlie begins his swim practice. While Katie gets multiple texts from Charlie, Morgan tells her to at least hear him out. But Katie is adamant. She asks Morgan to delete all his texts. They cannot be together anymore. Morgan does not understand why Katie is doing that. She does not have to be a martyr. Charlie can handle himself. Katie tells her that things will not work out between Charlie and her, and that she cannot be the one to hurt him. Katie picks up her guitar to distract herself, but she notices slight tremors in her hands. She recalls what the doctor had said. These are the symptoms that occur if XP is triggered. Katie pushes the guitar away. Dr. Paula comes to visit Jack at his house. The two of them sit outside on the porch as Jack tries to make sense of what the doctor just told him. He tells her they should do another set of tests. The results could be different this time. The doctor tells him that Katie's brain has begun to contract. Jack wants to know what happened to that study. Dr. Paula informs him that they stopped the research because there was no funding. Jack is silent for a while as he processes what this all means. He gets emotional. He tried his best. He never let Katie out in the sun even when she would scream and yell as a little girl. He always did what needed to be done for her. His baby girl could not get the childhood she deserved because she could not go out in the sun. He did all he could to protect her, but it was all for nothing. Dr. Paula tells Jack that a disease like XP takes away all the joy from a child's life, but in all her years of being Katie's doctor, she has never once seen the young girl complain. She always sees the good in things, and the way Katie talks about her father is admirable. The doctor assures Jack that he is a good father, and that he did everything right. Jack asks how long Katie has left, but the doctor cannot say for sure. Katie sees from her bedroom window as Jack says goodbye to Dr. Paula. She knows the truth. She is going to die soon. The next few days go by as Katie goes to her appointments, and Charlie trains for his swim meet. The trembling in Katie's hands has gotten so worse that she cannot even play the guitar anymore. Katie grows weaker by the day, and it shows. One night, she notices Jack in his studio. He is looking at Katie's pictures that he took over the years, and she decides to do something for him. When Jack enters the kitchen, he finds Katie on the laptop. He asks if she wants Chinese for dinner. Katie's too busy to reply. She is making an online dating profile for him. She gets him to sit next to her, and they work together on his profile. Katie wants her dad to be happy after she is gone. She wants him to start traveling the world again. He does not travel yet, but he will start soon. When Jack realizes what Katie is implying, he stops her. He doesn't want to discuss it. But Katie insists. She has tears in her eyes as she tells him that they always knew this would happen someday. Her lifeline was a ticking clock. They just ran out of time now. She urges her dad to go out and take beautiful photographs. She wants him to travel the world again and take care of himself. She only wants him to have a life as happy as the one he has given her. Jack is crying as Katie asks him to find someone to share his life and adventures with, because having someone is the best part. Jack promises her that he will live his life exactly how Katie wants. He hugs her tight. Katie and Jack are watching a baseball match on the television together when the doorbell rings. Thinking it is the food delivery, Katie goes to open the door. But when she sees Charlie outside with bags of food, she slams the door shut. She cannot believe this. Why is Charlie outside her house? Jack tells her that it was he who called Charlie over. But why? He tells her the same thing Katie told him. The best part of life is having someone to share your adventures with. Jack urges Katie to talk to Charlie and tell him the truth because they both deserve it. Katie takes her father's advice and goes outside to confront Charlie. He is waiting for her. Katie apologizes to him. This is not something that she could have just not told him. Charlie tells her she should have told him. Katie agrees. She apologizes again for being selfish like that with him. She knew they would never work out, but she really wanted them to. She says goodbye to him, trying to control her tears but failing. Charlie begins to walk away but stops and turns midway. He tells her that it was the worst breakup speech he has ever heard. Katie laughs through her tears. She has never broken up with someone before. She does not know what she should say. Charlie jokes around with her, trying to lighten up her mood. Katie sits down on the porch step. She tells him they cannot work. But Charlie thinks they can. He is sure that they can. The only thing he cannot do is stop being with Katie. He tells Katie that he has done his research on XP, and he knows what she is going through, but they are not the type of couple to give up. They cannot give up. He tells her how she has changed his life. So, she can either leave him alone on her porch, or they can have the best summer of their lives. Katie cannot help the big smile on her face. She stands up and kisses Charlie, accepting to be with him until she cannot. The two get back together. Katie goes to Charlie's swim meet. She sits on the bleachers with her dad and Morgan, and watches Charlie as he performs. He wins the competition. Everyone cheers for him. When they are outside the stadium, his father happily informs Charlie that the Berkeley coach was impressed with his performance. He promised to keep in touch with them. Charlie's parents are proud of him. When Charlie sees Jack, he goes to greet him. Jack congratulated the boy. Charlie asks him if he can take Katie out tomorrow, and Jack agrees to it. Katie is listening to all of this as she sits inside her car, the windows of which are also made of special glass for Katie's condition. Charlie puts his hand over the window, and though he cannot see her, Katie can see him. She smiles and touches his hand through the glass. The date night comes, and Charlie takes Katie out. He has a surprise for her. As they drive, Charlie notices the tremors in Katie's hands. He puts his hand above hers. He brings her to a recording studio. There are two men already waiting for her there. Katie is shocked, to say the least. She does not want to do this, but Charlie will not let her back out. Katie wonders how Charlie even paid for this. He gave up the money he was saving to buy a new truck. Charlie won't hear it. Katie helped him figure out his dream and got him back on track. It is time for him to do the same for her. Katie looks at her hands. She cannot play anymore. Charlie tells her to just sing. Katie enters the studio, and there is already a band present for her. They hand her the song that she wrote for Charlie, Charlie's song. Katie asks him where he got it from. Charlie stole her notebook again. Katie is not angry, only grateful. She puts on the headset and starts to sing to him. Charlie records a video of her. Katie spends the rest of her days in the company of Charlie, Morgan, and her dad. They play poker together, have dinners, and watch movies. Jack notices how happy Charlie makes his daughter. With Charlie around, Katie always seems happy, laughing, or smiling. It makes Jack appreciate Charlie for being there. One night, Charlie and Katie are sitting under the stars at the back of his truck. They are stargazing, pointing out different stars. Charlie makes up funny names for stars, because he does not have the knowledge Katie does. Katie corrects him and tells him the star he just pointed at is called Procyon, and it is 11 light years away. They were 7 years old when that light was created. Katie points out that it was around the time Charlie first got his skateboard. Charlie is unaware of Katie's longtime crush on him. Katie confesses to him that she already knew who he was the night they met at the train station. Growing up, she used to watch him pass by her window every day. It was the best part of her day. This makes Charlie sad. Not because Katie did not tell him she knew him before, but because he never looked up at her window. If he had, he could have been with her this whole time. Katie tells him that he was. She confesses she loves him. Charlie says the words back to her. That night when Charlie gets home, he uploads the video of Katie singing in the studio online. Days come and go, and Katie grows weaker. Katie is hanging out with her gang one evening, eating Chinese food, and watching TV, when Charlie tells them he has to go check on the boat he has been taking care of. The owners get back the next day, and it is his last day as the boat's caretaker. As he is leaving, Katie recalls the first night Charlie took her to the boat. He offered to take her in the boat for a sail around the harbor and watch the sunset together. Katie tells her dad that she wants to go with Charlie. Out in the sun, sailing on the boat. Jack tries to tell her that it will be better if she stayed indoors, but Katie wants to go. Now that her disease has been triggered, nothing can stop her from dying. She just wants to go out and live a little. Jack doesn't fight her on this. He agrees to let her go. Katie goes to the marina in broad daylight. She feels the sun on her skin and lights up from within. She hugs her dad and Morgan before getting on board with Charlie. The feeling is surreal. She cannot believe she is standing under the sun, in the middle of the water, in a boat with Charlie, soaking up the sun. She has waited her whole life to feel that. Charlie takes Katie in his embrace and kisses her. Katie spends her time in the sun feeling completely and utterly happy. She has no regrets in life. She is at peace. Katie's passing leaves Charlie, Morgan, and Jack with a big hole in their hearts. They each hold on to their memories of her. They spread Katie's ashes in the water by the marina. A few more days go by. Charlie shows up at Katie's house before he leaves for Berkeley. He meets Jack outside and tells him that he is leaving today. Charlie is looking forward to it. Jack is happy to hear that. He tells Charlie that his coach sent him Charlie's schedule, so Jack hopes to make it to one of his meets someday. Charlie is perplexed. Why would his coach send Jack his schedule? Jack tells him that they stayed in touch after Katie reached out to the coach. Charlie is unaware of anything like that. Jack informs him that Katie called his coach and told him that he needed to give Charlie another chance. But Katie never told anything to Charlie. Jack tells Charlie that he has got something for him. He brings Katie's notebook and gives it to Charlie. Charlie takes one look at it, and he is overwhelmed with emotion. He cannot look Jack in the eye anymore. He gets emotional as he thinks about it. He never even said sorry for what he did, keeping Katie out that entire night. He feels responsible for the part he played in Katie's condition worsening. Jack asks him to stop blaming himself. It was not Charlie's fault. Jack should be thanking Charlie instead, because all he ever wanted was to make his daughter happy, and Charlie did that. He made Katie so very happy. The two men embrace each other. Jack wishes Charlie the best for school. Charlie's driving down in his truck when he hears the radio talking about a song that has been blowing up on YouTube, with over 2 million views in just 2 weeks. Charlie turns up the volume as the announcer says the song's name, Charlie's Song by Katie Price. Charlie is beyond happy to hear Katie's voice on the radio. He smiles and has happy tears in his eyes as he looks skyward, feeling Katie's presence all around him. Morgan misses Katie dearly, but she is moving on too, albeit slowly. She is with Garver now. Charlie sends a text to Jack to turn on the radio and tune into the station that is playing Katie's song. When Jack hears his daughter's voice on the radio, he cheers out loud. His heart is full. He announces to his entire office that his girl's playing on the radio. Katie wrote Charlie a letter in her diary. On his way out of town, Charlie stops to read her words. In her letter, Katie thanks Charlie for everything. For the joy that he brought into her life, and for everything he did for her in their short time together. She wishes him luck, and to make the best out of his life. And if he ever needs her, all he has to do is look up, and remember that she will always love him.